Yes.
So staying with us, people. So yeah,
Indeed.
you were saying.
Yeah, what I was talking about was the fact that a lot of bus fares are unpredictable now. A lot of people get on the road in the morning not knowing what it's going to cost for them to get from point A to point B. And we heard earlier in the week that the Red Line Rail structure just, started functioning.
Yeah.
Now, these are areas that...
operational now.
Exactly, it's operational now. And I was looking at some of the fares, even though I was, I thought the fares would be lower, to be honest. I thought they would be lower. I'm hearing from people that, because I actually wouldn't know, I'm hearing from people that it's actually sort of cheaper than some bus routes have become because of course, the price of fuel. And of course, the bus drivers and conductors now are just putting any fare. It doesn't feel like there's a table or anything like that. But it might interest you to know that from Agbado to Oyingbo, there are train routes running from, I believe, 6 a.m. And it goes through Agbado, Iju, Agege, Ikeja, Oshodi, Mushin, Yaba, and Oyingbo. So there is a straight train from one side to the other. That's one end of Lagos to the other. And let's see, I can see a 5:20 p.m. train from Oyingbo all the way to Agbado.
How much is this?
I'm going to take the prices now. I just wanted to touch on the routes first for people to understand that it's available. So let's say Agbado, Iju, Agege, 500 naira.
Okay.
That's considered zone 2. Then zone 1 is Agege to Ikeja, Agege to Oshodi, Agege to Mushin, Agege to Yaba. Those are all 1,000 naira. Agege to Oyingbo is 1,000 naira. Then zone 1 and 2, that's Agbado all the way to Oyingbo, is 1,500 naira. So the whole idea is for...
Agbado to Oyingbo.
Yes, Agbado
that is
all
Ogun
the way.
States, that area.
Yeah.
To Oyingbo, that is Yaba, towards
Yaba.
Costain.
Yes, all the way across, 1,500 naira. I thought it was interesting that, the rail line had been structured that way because so many people, thousands of people ply that route every single morning.
I can imagine how much the BRT will cost.
We should actually confirm that and do some kind of...
But then again, I also saw reports, saw posts of RCCG, that's Redeem, is also offering free transportation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, from some areas in Lagos State to other areas.
Wow.
I think you just have to look out for the timings so that you can be a part of the system. And I think a lot other religious centers should. It's not saying by force. So for say we're just saying just to aid the ease of living.
It's not a situation of whether it's
just
by
to
force
ease
or not, whether
the living conditions.
Whether you want to accept it or not.
Yeah.
The church literally has a responsibility to the state.
Sure.
Do you understand? And a lot of times, or rather recently, we're seeing a lot of churches really being just about themselves and themselves, but by that I mean, okay, fine, increasing, expanding, going international and all of that and everything.
But the people here need help before...
Exactly, so the people here need help, and it's not just about, I mean, fine, the word is great, but what's the spirit of the word, really? And not even only Christianity, even like religious, I mean, other religions as well. When you talk about it, what actually is important to note is that, the idea of all of that is literally love and sharing that love, do you understand? You can literally be in your castle and claim righteous when other people are literally like suffering around you and all of that. It's also important to also note that, the free bus services was actually started or instigated by Harvester's ministry, which actually started probably a month or 2 months ago. And
I think I saw that as well.
Yeah, so they actually have routes going, free buses going from several areas in Lagos to other areas. And it's really amazing because, the church started it, and it's also important to know that members also now took up initiatives to also book these bus services for people to literally...
And I'll also add that I have also seen that a few organizations have also partnered with, some of these e-hailing services to help, sort of also make transportation easier. So they give at a discounted rate for employees. I think they have a system where they take it off from their salaries, but they ensure that at certain times they are, at the bus stops waiting, and it's like how you join the staff bus in the morning, and then this bus is.
I wanted to touch on something. All over the world there are, cards, travel cards.
Yeah.
The UK has had travel cards for donkey years. So in America, so. The fact that we have our own travel card now, I think it's called the Cowrie card.
Cowrie card, yeah.
Cowrie card now, it's going to also reduce queues at the train stations. So in other words, you could probably be able to load the Cowrie card and use it to get from one point to the other without thinking of having to, look for change or have cash on you, etc. Et
I think one of the challenges would usually be the lack of information, right?
Yeah.
And awareness.
People don't know.
A lot of people really do not know that these, services
are available.
Are available to make, leaving transportation easier generally. And I think at this point, I don't like to call myself out because I feel like that sometimes on my drive to the office, I'm tempted to want to, carry on one or two people that I see at the bus stops, but then I'm a bit security conscious.
Yeah, of course.
It just, it drives me crazy sometimes. I really, really want to help, but I'm like, oh, okay.
It's high risk. It's high risk,
right? But I feel that it should, because it's still something I'm still working out in my mind. I will eventually at some point, but I also know that there are a few other people who are, helping, to, carpool. Have a carpooling system at their offices. Even yesterday I went to Lagos Island and I realized that even after working hours, there are a lot more people who are not going home with their vehicles because of, maybe they don't have enough fuel or they don't even have fuel at all. So you have more people, carrying, going with a certain person, and then they sort of run a shift. Maybe this Monday it's you, Tuesday it's another colleague, Wednesday it's another colleague, just to make
things easier.
I think it's also important to also note, because I remember when the post was dropped on the group, Mary also made certain comments. Whether we like it or not, these rates as they are actually still high.
Because
let's think about the people that regularly ply or probably use or make use of public transport systems. These are people that are used to fares. I mean, far back as from like 50 naira, 100 naira, 200 naira. Okay, with the hike, prices literally went from 200, 300, 400. No doubt right now we're talking about buses literally charging for about 1,000, 2,000 even at some points. I know there was a situation where someone actually gave an experience of him actually being at the bus station and the buses being full. Despite the fact that there were people standing, they couldn't afford to literally pay those fares, so they had to stand. But then again, the buses couldn't reduce their prices because of the fuel. And they have several factors that make them, put their prices at, I know you said there was no cap, they're just putting at the price. Because, there's a fuel price. Of course. There's also now the stress and hassle to even get the fuel. Do you understand? So, there's several, so just think about it, a lot of people are parking their cars now. Maybe those people that are parking their cars and using public transport can afford these train services. But then let's talk about the regular trader, the little who goes to the market and makes how much? 50 naira on good sales, 10 naira profits on good sales. Can they really afford it? So that's why the fact that, this is a welcome development. I still think we still need some level of, we need something. We need something to literally
some level
help
of subsidy.
We need something
to actually help
pushing the effect,
basically. Just allow, because a lot of people talk about the fact that it just seems as if the middle class is like easily being wiped out. And then a lot of people are literally falling below the poverty line. And it's actually,
It's actually, so one thing I was going to talk about once I touched on the card was the fact that at least there's no conductor to drag for your change now.
Yes, but then again,
nobody, I don't think anybody has done public transport that has not tried to drag change.
Let's talk about how realistic that card is.
Is it for the Danfos or the BRT buses?
So
I think we need to be specific here because I know that Danfo buses
I was
do
talking
not
about
do
the trains. I was talking about the trains. I'm
talking about the trains. Now let's talk about how will they work. We've had network issues. We're talking about internet in Nigeria, with the cars, with the loading, with all of that. Now, even with normal bank cards, I know how difficult it is sometimes. For the past how many days, I've been having serious issues with banks. We know how, when we talk about registration, talking about, so there are lots of several factors that affect it. But then again, welcome developments.
Yes.
We just keep on thinking of how to make it better. And
better. We will definitely be watching and listening. Of course, social media is always there for us to keep seeing. People will be sharing their experiences eventually. Hopefully it's a welcome development for more people than not. And hopefully there might be a reduction in the fare. You never know.
And then it's also a call to be your brother's keeper. People.
Exactly.
Let's look out for one another in any way that we can help each other. Make life easier for one another. Let's do that. And we'll go on a quick break now.
At this point, we'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and tag us WakeUpNigeria TVCE on Instagram. We can't wait to hear your thoughts.
And we'll be back in a bit. Stay with us, people.